Alright, this week, it's going to be a little bit of a longer one. I'm going to be talking about the latest season of Tales from the Crypt that I've watched. It is Tales from the Crypt Season 3, 14 episodes, aired in 1991-92 era. I'm still having a ton of fun with these. I'm still loving every season. They do change it up. They make it feel a little different. It's always kind of corny. I don't want to say scary hardly ever, but you know what you're getting when you've seen it, especially if you've already been through the other two seasons. On a note that I did just recently hear, apparently they are, the owners of Tales from the Crypt, are shopping around a new television series that will have the classic Crypt Keeper, and they want to go a little darker in the horror, but I would not even say, I hate when people say darker for everything, but let's say more modern and just more kind of fitting to the times where you can still have it kind of funny, but also be a little scary. So, all kinds of episodes in this. I'm only going to hit on a few of them because that'd just be a waste of time to talk about every one. The first one is The Trap. It stars Terry Garr. The other guy, Bruce McGill. Once you see him, you'll know him. He was in MacGyver for a long time, and he was just in a bunch of other 80s shows. He's been in stuff even up to now. This year I've seen him in stuff. So, it is basically the story of this person trying to fake his death, and then he realizes he kind of gets screwed out of his own personality after he does it. He's the one that gets kind of cheated. His wife plays some tricks on him. The reason I liked this is because it felt kind of 80s to me, even though it was like 91, and it was directed by Michael J. Fox. So, The Trap was just fun acting, kind of goofy, kind of silly. The second one that really jumped out at me, Abra Cadaver, starring Beau Bridges and Tony Goldwyn. I think he was the bad guy from Ghost. It is, in the beginning, you'll see where they play a practical joke on Beau Bridges, who's like this doctor and, mortician kind of character, and the joke goes horribly wrong, so he plots his revenge. Now, what I liked about this one is a lot of the scenes were shot from, like, a cadaver's point of view, like a dead person who turns out, like, when you die, you're not really dead. You can see and feel everything kind of storyline. With these, I don't want to talk too much about them because I don't want to ruin some surprises, but that camera angle was really cool to me, and that was one of the more creepy ones to where I was like, oh, God, that would suck. What if you did die? Or, like, I've always been scared to death of being in a coma or, just being paralyzed and not being able to communicate that I'm paralyzed to somebody and they think I'm dead or knocked out or whatever. That's terrifying to me. So this one, still a lot of fun, but it was just like, it had the creepiness, so kudos to that. Another good one, Top Billing with Jon Lovitz, and all as it is he's a failed actor and he's trying to get the part, he's trying to prove he can get a part in a big time show, so he goes after, but he sees an ad for Shakespeare or Macbeth. It's Macbeth in some back alley in New York or whatever. So he goes to the audition, and it turns out things aren't quite as they seem. The people putting on the play are a little weird and sketchy, and this one was just fun because it's the classic, like, person getting caught, like, in a situation that they can't get out of. He's trying to get out of it, and he doesn't realize he's even being put in a situation until it's a little too late. So, Jon Lovitz was great in that. Another one that was pretty awesome for me, TheReluctant Vampire. This one was great. See if you can see this picture of Malcolm McDowell and George Wendt, Norm from Cheers. Malcolm McDowell works at a bank as a security guard. It turns out he is a vampire, but he doesn't want to kill people. His sole purpose, or what he does, is the bank that he works at is a blood bank. So he robs the blood from the bank, hoping not to get caught, but of course, shit kind of hits the fan. He falls in love with a girl. There's all kinds of issues that he runs into and has to do something about it. And my girlfriend just totally mooned me right now, and it was awesome. That was great. She actually distracted me for a second, and I didn't know what was going on. And then she's wearing some cute underwear too, I gotta say. All of you are going to be like, he ain't got no fucking girlfriend, he's just making that up so we think that. But she really did, but I didn't get the butt shot because I can't reach across and grab it and show you real quick. So The Reluctant Vampire was really cool. You know, we've all seen the vampire that doesn't want to kill, and all that's the newest vampire these days. But this one was kind of funny and just kind of cool, and Norm from Cheers just played a real asshole, so that was kind of cool. I think my favorite one on here was Undertaking Palor. It stars John Glover and from Smallville, and he stars as a mortician. And basically, the mortician is kind of shady in the town. The way people are dying or showing up dead, and the way he's making money off of them definitely isn't right. Well, a group of 4 kids that are just sneaking in to the funeral home one night, they end up overhearing and seeing what's going on. So the whole episode is about them trying to get out of there, and then them trying to let the right people know, but they don't know who to tell because they don't know who to trust, and they're all working together to try to come up with a plan to let the townspeople know, but to not get killed themselves and get caught. And all the kids are probably about 11, 12 years old. It was just such a fun, horror story, and it made me feel like a kid again. It was like an adventure that they were on, and really made me feel like I was watching The Monster Squad or E.T. or Super 8 or just something like that, where the kids are trying to overcome what's happening and beat the odds. So I really like that one a lot. One that I've got to talk about is called Split Second. It's just about a lumberjack who's got this bitchy wife, and all the people that work for him out at this lumberjack company plan their revenge for them being such assholes. But there is a kill scene in this one like none I have ever seen in a TV show or anywhere. It's just an awesome, you gotta imagine they're lumberjacks, so they really use a chainsaw and some trees, and just watch that one. Split Second. Oh man, the kill scene. And the main guy, the lumberjack, you'll know him from stuff, especially in the 80s. He's got kind of that weird look. He played a bad guy a lot of times, and you'll know who I'm talking about. I don't recall his name off the top of my head. The last one that I have to talk about, it's called Yellow. I think it was the last one of the season, actually. Robert Zemeckis directed it. Kirk Douglas was in it. His son Eric Douglas, who you don't ever see much of or have heard of, is in it. Lance Henriksen, Dan Aykroyd. It doesn't feel like a Tales from the Crypt episode at all. It almost feels like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a war story, and it's basically a general who's this high-ranking, just hard-ass, awesome general, and his son is in his unit, and his son is definitely not cut out for the war, and everybody knows it. And the son is sure that he's going to get people killed. He wants out. He just does not want to be there, but he's under all this pressure because the general is his dad, and he's supposed to live up to that. So it just has to do with, they go out in the battlefield, shit goes wrong, and blah, 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 and then the general's got to make a decision about the son, and the son's got to make a decision of whether to stay and whether he could trust his dad. And they just get into a lot of deep character development, seeing the father talk to the son, and you just know a lot of father-son relationships are like that, just in regular households across the world, and you could tell that just the way that this kid's feeling about his dad and vice versa, a lot of us have felt, or you have felt, and it was just left me with the strangest feeling, and I really give it to them for making that episode so different and so cool as a season finale, because if I were to watch it without knowing it was Tales from the Crypt, I would have never guessed. Not that I'm saying it was so much better. Tales from the Crypt just kind of has a formula that works, but you didn't feel it in this one. It's not goofy or not silly in any way. It's pretty serious, kind of scary in the way of it just leaves you with a weird feeling, and just had a strange feel throughout. So I like that one a lot. Overall, great season. The special features on this disc, they had a panel at a Comic-Con and a Tales from the Crypt reunion. Those were both really good and interesting to watch. The music video was pretty weird, but I think this might be the last season with really cool special features. The rest of them do virtual comics, which is okay. But I feel like, man, if they ever make a box set, I really hope they go all out to do special features, and I would buy it. But, yeah, so check out Tales from the Crypt, Season 3, and I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. Here's to Tales from the Crypt coming back on the air sometime soon.